Crash My Party is the fourth studio album by American country music artist Luke Bryan. It was released on August 13, 2013 via Capitol Nashville. Its first single, the title track, reached number 1 on the Billboard Country Airplay chart. The album was produced by Jeff Stevens. A deluxe edition with 4 bonus tracks is available exclusively at Target and Walmart. Even though the reception towards the album by music critics was mixed, the album has seen remarkably high commercial success. On its first week, the album sold 528,000 copies and debuted at number 1 on both the Billboard 200 and Top Country Albums charts. It was certified platinum by the RIAA on September 30, 2013, and became the third best-selling album of 2013. By July 2014, the album had reached over 2 million in sales in the United States. Critical reception: Crash My Party garnered mixed reception from music critics. At Metacritic, they assign a weighted average score to ratings and reviews from selected mainstream critics, which based upon 5 reviews, the album has a Metascore of 55. At Rolling Stone, Chuck Eddy felt that given the drinking songs he's best at, he'd be better off pretending spring break lasts all year long, because he cannot seem to match up to Kenny Chesney's knack for lonely contemplation. Stephen Thomas Eliwine at AllMusic told that some of the tracks seem slightly cookie-cutter, yet at the same time he does seem savvy, and somebody who embraces what real redneck living is about in 2013. At the Boston Globe, Sarah Rodman gave the album a mixed review, and wrote that the album sounds somewhat generic, but the majority of the record is given over to party games. We've heard Bryan and many others in contemporary country play before. Eric Allen of American Songwriter noted how Crash My Party is melodiously rewarding despite its sporadic lyrical missteps. At Music Is My Oxygen, Rob Burkhart felt that Bryan chose to coast on that momentum from his previous album. At USA Today, Brian Mansfield highlighted that in comparison to his last album this has a slightly more generic-sounding tone, and he wrote that Bryan comes across as just another backwoods party animal with an amped-up sound and indiscriminate taste in women. At the Oakland Press, Gary Graff felt that the release was yet another mostly upbeat and good-humored set, which, more than anything else, demonstrates Bryan a unregistered trademark and producer Jeff Stevens a unregistered trademark knack for picking out exactly the right songs for the singer to record. Melinda Newman of HitFix alluded to how the release will be a nice new chapter in a pleasingly familiar book, if not a particularly high-octane one. At Country Weekly, Joseph Hudick told that all the imagery his fans have come to demand is there, however in the future. Eat a unregistered trademark. Be nice to see Luke, the reigning ACM Entertainer of the Year, grow out of the fields. Hey unregistered trademark so clearly comfortable in. Billy Dukes of Taste of Country felt that there is little to differentiate the two projects, which this may lead some people to line up to pigeonhole him, and noted that there are hits to be found on his fourth studio album, but a lack of powerful album cuts makes the project much less exciting than one would like. At Newsday, Glenn Gamboa called Bryan a singles hitter in more ways than one, which means that he felt Bryan never hits a home run, but he sure does connect a lot. They also continue on to say that every time he tries to swing for the fences, he strikes out. Matt Pchuk of Rough Stock evoked that Crash My Party clearly features melodies and ideas that come from outside of country's traditions. Nobody would mistake the album for anything but a country music album, a strong, well-made modern one which makes times to nod to tradition while still looking forward. Commercial performance: Crash My Party sold 528,000 copies in the first week of album sales for the release. In 2013, this marks the fourth best-selling album in its debut week, with the only albums to achieve better first-week sales being Justin Timberlake's The 20/20 Experience, Eminem's The Marshall Mathers LP2, Jay-Z's Magna Carta, Holy Grail and Drake's Nothing Was the Same. An album by a male country artist has not sold this well in 9 years. For the Billboard magazine charting week of August 31, 2013, the album charted at number 1 on both the Billboard 200 and Top Country Albums charts. It became the third best-selling album of 2013 in the United States with 1,521,000 copies sold for the year. It reached its 2 million sales mark in July 2014. As of October 2014, the album has sold 2,180,000 copies in the U.S. Track listing, chart performance, singles, a current single. References